Chapter 22, Umpqua Community College, Roseburg, Oregon, October 1st, 2015. Cynthia Denise White had been in love with Lawrence Michael Olson ever since 1995, in kindergarten. The first day they met, they shared a peanut butter and jelly sandwich Cindy's mom made and then had nap time next to each other. They both were born in the city of Roseburg, Oregon, population of a little over 20,000. A big, small town. Both of Cindy's parents worked with Fab Form Industries, a trailer manufacturer. Her father, Dennis, in production. Her mom, Joan, in the business office. Larry's father, Stephen, was a single practitioner corporate attorney. His mom, Vivian, was an English professor at the local community college, Umpqua, which, depending on who you meet in Roseburg, either refers to a group of Indian tribes from the Umpqua Basin, or it means thundering water, or dancing water, or bring across the river. Vivian was partial to dancing water. Cyndy and Larry went to Hillcrest Elementary together, John C. Fremont Middle School together, and Roseburg High School together. They had other friends, other interests, yet none were as important as one to the other. They never went on a date with anyone else. Most everyone that knew them understood nothing or no one was going to split them. Both were attractive. Cyndy about 5'6", athletic, on the field hockey and softball teams in high school. Larry was only about 5'10", but also very athletic and lightning fast, breaking several Roseburg High sprint track records. Both were intelligent, graduating in the top 20% of Roseburg class of 2009. Both went to the University of Oregon in nearby Eugene, graduating in May 2013. Cyndy in advertising, Larry in public relations, image management. They had decided to remain in Eugene to begin their life together. Cyndy could not imagine her life without Larry, but she had always been against the idea of her taking his last name. This was fine with the groom-to-be. They were married Saturday, June 1st, 2013, in a small ceremony at the Clear Lake Gardens Wedding Chapel, then began work on Monday the 3rd, Cyndy in the advertising department of Kendall Auto Group, Larry as a trainee with the Bennett Management Company, a property management firm. After about a year living in Eugene, Cyndy and Larry both missed the small-town atmosphere of Roseburg. They gave it until the end of the year, then moved back to their hometown, but not before finding a place and securing employment. Neither of them liked surprises or the unknown. A nice starter home with 3 bedrooms, 2 of which they'd use for home offices, 2 baths on Green Avenue, an advertising marketing job for Cyndy at FabForm, her parents' employer, and Larry was hired by the Southern Oregon Wine Institute, located on the Umpqua Community College campus. Cyndy and Larry were back among family and friends, happy in their new/renewed life in Roseburg. They started talking about having a family, about places they wanted to visit. A trip to Paris was on their very short bucket list. They were growing into their jobs, still a few fits and starts, but loved what they were doing, and it showed in their work product. Late in the summer of 2015, Cyndy was promoted and given the challenge of writing all promotional material for FabForm's client base, trailer dealers around the country. Because of this, and with her employer's blessing, she signed up for a writing class at UCC, timing it so she could lunch with Larry at the Southern Oregon Wine Institute, located in the Lang Center just a short walk away. Once Cyndy started her class, one of the moments they came to enjoy was after, when Cyndy and Larry would share lunch. She'd talk about the class and about her classmates and teacher. The professor was an old guy with a beard, but from Oregon, very friendly, loved fishing, an excellent instructor, and a big Oregon Ducks fan. If you picture an English professor, that'd be my teacher. Most of her classmates were kids, just out of high school, but there were a couple of older ladies in the class, one in a wheelchair. Everybody was nice except one guy. She called him the skinhead. Always wore green army pants and combat boots, big black frame glasses. Sat by himself, never smiled, never talked to anyone. Kind of creepy. Larry asked her the obvious questions. Did she feel okay? Did he make her nervous? Had he said anything inappropriate to anyone? She'd be fine, she said. She'd just stay away from him. On Thursday, October 1st, 2015, Cyndy parked her car and headed toward the southeast portion of Snyder Hall, classroom 15. As was her custom, she arrived 15 minutes before class started, as she did with every appointment. Others people's time is just as important as yours, her parents taught her again and again. Just as the class was starting, she looked around. No skinhead. Good. At that moment, she heard what she immediately knew was a gunshot. Then in walked the skinhead, wearing his new army pants and combat boots, but also a flak jacket. And weapons. Screams, crying, pleading. The skinhead showed no emotion. He herded the students into the center of the classroom, then gave a packet to a boy with glasses and told him that today is your lucky day. He was told to sit in the corner and give the packet to police as I won't be around to do it. He then walked up to the professor, said to him, I've been waiting to do this for years, and shot him in the head at point blank range. One by one, student after student. He asked several if they were Christians. They said yes. His response, in 2 seconds, you'll be with God. And you'll feel a couple of seconds of pain, but then you'll be in heaven. He made one woman beg for her life, then shot her. Another woman attempted to reason with him. He shot her. Anyone who tried to flee was shot, usually multiple times. A woman in the wheelchair was knocked out of it by the skinhead, then was shot trying to climb back in it. As the skinhead was turning to shoot the wheelchair lady, Cyndy tried to get away, heard the shot, and fell to the ground. I can't move my legs. I don't feel any pain. I can't feel my legs. Just then, police started arriving. The skinhead heard them just as he was headed towards Cyndy. He also heard commotion outside in the hallway. He opened the door. Cyndy heard him say, "You called the cops," and fired 5 shots, then turned back to the outside entrance and started firing at the police. Cyndy propped herself against the wall and watched as the skinhead was hit in the right side, staggered back into the classroom, and shot himself in the head. In 10 minutes, it was over. Larry heard the sirens too. That's odd. We never have any problems here. Then went back to working on his press release. 5 minutes later, someone, and he would never be able to remember who, would run past his office and yell the words that would change the rest of his life. There's been a shooting in Snyder Hall. Snyder Hall. Oh, God, Cyndy. He ran down towards Snyder Hall and was met by a group of policemen. My wife, she's in there. Where did it happen? What classroom? Told by one officer it was classroom 15. He calmed his panic emotions for several seconds, took a few steps back, and then used every ounce of his Roseburg high sprint speed and raced past the group of officers and sprinted toward the classroom. As he got to Snyder Hall, he saw Cyndy on a stretcher being hustled into a waiting ambulance. Cyndy! Cyndy! The EMTs saw him and waited until he could safely get inside. Baby, I can't move my legs. He shot me. I can't. They transported Cyndy to Mercy Medical Center in Roseburg, where she went immediate several hours of surgery. Larry was soon joined in Mercy's waiting room by his and Cyndy's parents. As they sat waiting, the parents filled Larry in on what they had heard on TV. Among the information was the identity of the shooter, the man Cyndy had referred to as the skinhead. There was a total of 10 dead, including the killer. He had brought 6 weapons to school with him, plus ammo cases, obviously anticipating a shootout. Larry filled them in on what he knew. Cyndy had been shot once in the lower abdomen. Before EMTs had sedated her, she told Larry that she couldn't feel her legs. As Larry was describing what he had seen before rushing into the ambulance, he was interrupted by 2 people in scrubs, a man and a woman. The woman spoke. Everyone, my name is Dr. D. DeRuby. This is Dr. Albert Roxy. We were the surgeons for Miss White. Who are we speaking with? After all introductions were made, the surgeons had all parties sit down. It was going to be that kind of news. Dr. Ruby. Cyndy's a fighter. We were concerned when she was first brought in, and we feel the prognosis is guarded, but she had several positives going in. She's athletic. That helped. Plus, she's in great shape. Like I said, she's obviously a fighter. We're confident she'll pull through. Doctor Roxy, there's no way I can tell this to any of you in a gentle fashion, so please forgive me. Cyndy will be a paraplegic for the rest of her life. 5 scared, angry, devastated people began peppering the surgeon with questions. Dr. Roxy continued, hold it, please. I know this is traumatic. I know this is a shock. My daughter was in a car accident 6 months ago and suffered nearly the same trauma. I'm a surgeon. I know what the surgeon who operated on my daughter was telling me. I still wanted to punch him in the face. Please give me 5 more minutes. Quiet, though there was eye wiping and sniffling as he spoke. Cyndy is going to be depressed. She's going to be angry. What she will need is a strong support group that will help her when she needs help, push her when she needs pushing, keeping the positives as much as you can well in front of the negatives. She has no feeling from the waist down. The bullet did extensive damage to her lumbar spinal area. However, she has all her feeling from the waist up. Let me repeat that. All the feeling from the waist up. So you all can visualize this. She'll be able, with proper modifications, to drive herself to work. She'll be able to maneuver her wheelchair herself. She won't need a motorized one. Larry, can she cook? Like a chef. Okay. With proper modifications, and if you've been a good hubby, laughter, she can still cook you gourmet meals. Will she need therapy? Yes. Extensive. Will she need extra care? Yes. But it's not anything any of you couldn't be taught how to do. Will she need every ounce of love you can give her? Yes. But I have a feeling that won't be a challenge here. The doctors then gave them general information as to what would happen the next few weeks, including what they would need to do to start preparing Cyndy's new living environment once she left the hospital. From the moment she was shot and immediately discovered she couldn't move her legs, Cyndy White was preparing herself for the moment she'd officially learn she was paralyzed. From the moment she knew the skinhead was dead up to the second she received sedation, she was going through a mental checklist of the body parts she could sense and feel. Head, neck, shoulders, both arms, all fingers, chest, stomach, check. It was about her waistline that the feeling ended. Her last thought before going under was, well, this is shitty, but not as shitty as 900's lying in that classroom. She was alive. Her husband was holding her hand in the ambulance. They'll fix her as best they can. Then it would be up to her to make of her life what she could. Cyndy woke up to a room full of people. Parents, in-laws, husband, and 2 surgeons who told her what she already knew. Depressed? Yes. Defeated? No. The process began. Surgery, recovery, initial therapy, forward steps, backward steps. Cyndy and Larry were resolute. They would not let a skinhead's bullet stop their lives. He brought one of their laptops from home. They became Roseburg 30 and 31 in the hospital, with Navy Yard 14 as their mentor. At night, when all the visitors were gone, they'd explore the Umpqua page on the site and become angrier by the moment at how this skinhead with documented mental issues, Asperger's syndrome, that had him on medications that he stopped taking at age 18, a discharge by the Army after only 1 month, rumor was an attempted suicide, and other issues that were easily discovered online, was able to own or partially own with his mother 14 guns, 6 of which he took to class that day. They were watching CNN one night in the hospital when they saw a replay of President Obama's reaction to the shooting. The word they would most remember was the one the president kept saying over and over: routine. Nothing changed. There was no outrage. There was no outcry. A mentally disturbed man had brought 6 guns into a classroom, killed 9, wounded others, and it was all routine. They would talk about it into the night. Well, why? Why did nothing happen? Why were no protections installed, no guidelines, no laws? They finally left the hospital and returned to a fully reconverted house and fully reconverted work area, courtesy of Cyndy's employer, Fabform, and Larry's dad. Then the real rehab work began. The challenges involving mobility limitations, the various therapies, physical, physiological, psychological, occupational, pressure sores, urinary tract infections, and of course the challenge of depression all had to be handled, if not subdued, on an almost daily basis. Cyndy was never alone in facing all this, though sometimes it felt like it. After all, it was her stuck in the chair, her who was trapped whenever she was put, her who woke up screaming. It wasn't easy. It was something she was going to have to live with, literally. Slowly but surely, life returned to a new normal, made more normal by the love, effort, and work put in by her support team. She was appreciative. She'd cry thinking about what everyone had done for her life to be a little easier. She kept her job. Both her parents and in-laws were amazing. She was able to get around. But it was her husband. It was Larry that kept her whole. That kept her sane. It was Larry who took care of all the unpleasant duties involving the comforting care of a paraplegic, as well as everything else that involved Cyndy keeping a smile on her face while she negotiated her new life. It was Larry who would hold her crying at night. It was Larry who would listen to her asking the same questions over and over. Why? Why me? How? How could he buy so many guns? Who? Who was responsible for this? What? What is going to be done about this? She knew the when. When will she get out of this chair? Never. Of the more than 30,000 members of the site, it was Larry and Cyndy who were among the most active, visiting their own page, adding any information, photos, drawings, memorials they read or heard about, visiting other pages, meeting other members, using all the free medical and mental assistance available to them, and spending quality time with their mentor, Navy Yard 14. Sometimes late at night, when she'd gone to the Umpqua page yet again, reliving the pain of October 1st, Larry would often ask Cyndy what the purpose of this was. What answer or answers was she looking for? The answer was roughly the same. I don't know, Larry. There's an emptiness deep inside me. It has nothing to do with you, Mom, Dad, or your folks. There's just something not right. There's an answer I don't know. Hell, baby, there's a fucking question that I don't know the fucking answer to. All I know is I'm searching for something. Meaning, contentment, some inner spirituality, peace. I don't know. I promise you'll be the first to know. After me. Then she'd usually laugh, squeeze her husband's hand, and go back to the site. Normally, the site was able to upload information months in advance of the public seeing it. Such was the case with evidence that Douglas County Sheriff's Office had collected since October 1st. It was scheduled to be released into the public around September 8, 2017. The same information was downloaded into the site's Umpqua Community College page on Monday, May 1st, 2017. It contained a six-page racist manifesto from the skinhead, including that he was a virgin and had no friends, the interview with the skinhead's mother, who shot AR-15s on the range with him, wholesome mommy-son activities, Cyndy said. Other police reports, over 100 in all, and interviews, over 150, including Cyndy and Larry's. More than 300 pieces of evidence, including police scene photos, surveillance film of the skinhead in a gun store, and photos from the skinhead's apartment. But it was a photo number 10, the photo after the skinhead's blood-splattered glasses, watch, and necklace. Not any of the scene photos, pictures of the skinhead's apartment, or even the FedEx guy's photos of the skinhead sticking his head out of the outside classroom door as police arrived. The moment my life was saved, was Cyndy's response. Nope. The photo contained one card that the skinhead had on his person when he died. Mostly blue and white, and the left 1/3 there was a bald eagle in front of an American flag. The top 2/3 read, National Rifle Association, NRA, big letters, stand and fight. The skinhead's name, the renewal date, and in the lower right corner, 2015, his NRA membership card. Cyndy sat staring at it. Larry was with her. He left, fixed dinner, her favorite, salmon with lemon butter sauce, asparagus with cheese sauce, big salad. Came back into her office. She was still staring at the photo. Larry, baby, what's going on? You've been staring at that photo for an hour. Cyndy looked up and it startled Larry. She looked more calm, more serene than he had seen her in months. Baby, who's the most powerful lobbyist in the country? Larry didn't want to break the mood. He knew his part already. The NRA, baby. Baby, when there was a mass shooting in Columbine, did anything get fixed? Nope. While I was staring at the photo, I was thinking about all the great people we've met on the site. From Atlanta, Fort Worth, Wakefield, Goleta, that Amish school in Pennsylvania, West Nickel Mines. Yeah. Them and the Virginia Tech kids, Northern Illinois University, Carthage, Binghamton, Fort Hood, Manchester, Tucson, Aurora. I know, baby, they've all been through what you and I have been through. I know that. I understand that. My point is, imagine if the most powerful lobbyist in the country had decided after any one of those, hell, even ours, to finally let Congress do something about the gun violence in this country. Not the hunting shit. I get that. Not the single shooter protect your home or family. I get that too. To finally decide, organization will be better served not to have skinheads in it, not to have kid killers in it, not to have semi-automatic weapons of any sort available for sale anywhere, and to confiscate and pay for the ones that are out there, and to have a national database so that lunatics like our buddy the skinhead couldn't get his fucking hands on 14 weapons, 6 of which he decided to bring to show and tell. Okay, I follow you so far. What are you thinking? I'm thinking we both get jobs with the NRA. What? Hear me out. We both get jobs with the NRA. We move to the D.C. area. We wait till the time is exactly right. Then I buy an illegal semi-automatic weapon, and we stick a bullet or two in Jim Mitchell's fat skull. Cyndy, what the fuck? Do you have any idea what you're saying? She's still calm, still composed. Sure do. The way I have it figured, the only way change comes is if all this gun killing, this disgusting, heinous pile of shit touches the NRA itself. Oh yeah. I'll have to kill a couple of others for it to really mean something. Babe, that's a death sentence. Her voice began to rise. What the fuck do you think I have now, Larry? What the fuck do you think I tell all my counselors every single day in this miserable goddamn chair? What, Larry, what? I'll tell you what, Larry, so you won't ever say death sentence to me again. I tell them I want to die. I have no reason to live. I'm tired of you sticking catheters at me so I can pee and wiping my ass for me when I shit so that I haven't done it all over myself, and the sores I can't feel, and the exercises I must do, and I'm so sorry stares from all these miserable motherfuckers all around us, including my own family, including you. They won't think, hell, you won't think I'm a poor little cripple when I rid the world of that miserable, filthy, child-killing prick. She screamed prick as loud as she could, then dissolved into tears. Larry just stood there. He didn't know what to do. So he stood there for what to him felt like 3 days. Just staring at the woman he loved. Staring at a woman he would gladly change places with. Staring at the strongest woman he'd ever known. Reduced to whatever this was by one lousy bullet fired into her by a complete and total waste of human skin. And this waste was an NRA member. He knew she meant every word. He knew she would do her absolute best to carry it out. And he knew as the tears came to his eyes and rolled down his face that he didn't want to spend one day on earth without that woman at his side. He walked over, put both hands on her shoulders, and leaned down. Okay, baby. I love you. Her right hand reached up, gripped the left hand on her shoulder, and held it tight. The notifying parents and friends part was hard. Nobody understood why they had to move all the way to the East Coast and especially the Washington, D.C. area. Although Cyndy's parents were more supportive, her dad was a hunter as well as an NRA member, Larry's parents knew from the moment they announced where they were going that something was up. They were only mildly less caustic when Larry claimed he was doing it for Cyndy. His father said it best, "Son, this is bullshit. You and I know it. I love you and support you, but this is some serious bullshit." The job part was easy. Cyndy ignored the standard application process and sent both her and Larry's resume along with a cover letter and newspaper clippings mentioning her to the top of the food chain, as she put it. Having someone wooed in a mass shooting as a pro-gun, pro-NRA marketing executive spokesman was a no-brainer for Jim Mitchell and his ever-observant, publicity-conscious board. Hiring the husband in advertising had benefits as well, since most NRA departments were lily white, and Larry was most definitely an African-American. They moved to Fairfax, Virginia in September 2017, the Eves Fair Lakes, and a ground-level 3-bedroom apartment that had already been renovated for a former paraplegic tenant. This put them less than 5 miles from the NRA building. The NRA featured Cyndy as much as they could, making sure Larry was included not only in the writing and production side, but also with Cyndy. Never touching her, never kissing her, not even having his arm around her. The base wouldn't like that. No. Just there, the black husband supporting the crippled wife, both loving some NRA and those sacred gun rights. Featured on the NRA channel, their newsletter, print and media advertising, and conservative events, Cyndy became one of the leading faces of the Second Amendment movement. She even would help give special tours of the National Firearm Museum to VIP groups. Slowly, quietly, but steadily, a plan began to come together. A plan that would involve 2 illegal weapons, a locked large conference room, and the presence of the entire NRA leadership and the NRA board of directors, and the real power behind the NRA, the world's gun manufacturers, all in one place at one time. And Cyndy was slated to give off the meeting with a short address. The date was going to be Wednesday, November 7th, 2018. There was only one challenge. Neither she nor Larry could come up with an escape plan. Were they to go through with it, they'd be in a room with a lot of dead people, 2 illegal AR-15s in their hands, and nowhere to go. Could they wire her wheelchair with explosives and have Larry carry her to the bathroom before the chair detonated? Couldn't they stand in an open doorway and let him have it, then make a break while the dust was still settling? And their escape vehicle? Everyone knew they drove a modified SUV that allowed Cyndy to operate it, but it took forever to get her into the driver's or passenger seat. By that time, police would be there and know who to look for. Could they get a cheap van with a portable ramp? Larry could wheel her into the back, quickly lock the wheels in, then once they were a few miles away, situate her in the front seat. They wanted them to die. They wanted to live. Navy Yard 14 had been their mentor since they joined the site back in 2015. Slowly, she'd earned their trust. Several months after they moved to Fairfax, she met them at the Fair Lake Shopping Center across from their apartment complex at Tsunami Sushi. Over sushi and Sapporo beer, they told her what they were planning. Maxine did her best to talk them out of it, letting them know that the site could not be associated with their plan at all. Once that was done, she acted basically as the loyal elder sister, not harping on the illegality, but on the challenges with the plans they were creating. She understood what they were trying to do. She just didn't see how they could do it. Now it was 2018, July 2018. Ray almost had his bus full of damaged goods. He had someone to retrofit it, someone to drive it, also an expert in weapons, someone for communications, a plan to keep law enforcement at bay, an escape plan, and a plan within the plan. Maxine had wanted to wait until she knew, in her heart, that Cyndy and Larry would be the final necessary piece to the puzzle before getting them involved. If Ray had failed in raising up enough people, Maxine would have let Cyndy and Larry press forward and would have hoped against hope that they could both succeed and escape. It was time they met. Maxine told them briefly about Ray about the plan and suggested a dinner meeting at Tsunami Sushi for Wednesday night, July 11th. Both Cyndy and Larry requested Maxine be there as well, which she was more than happy to do. Cyndy called Lee, the owner of the Tsunami, who always treated her and Larry with extra kindness as well as great service. Lee reserved the corner table for them next to the window and promised to keep everyone at least 2 tables away. Maxine then told Ray, who immediately, with Maxine's help, got on a seat on United Flight 2408 from LAX to Dulles Airport, arriving at 8:58 p.m. on the 10th, heading to the Front Royal Farm where he slept in his own bed for the first time in a long while. Ray met Maxine at 6:15 at Tsunami Sushi, met Lee. They're so nice, good kids. Had a Diet Coke while Maxine had a Sapporo, and got most of the backstory on Cyndy and Larry, who arrived at 6:45 p.m. Ray immediately recognized them both, as did several patrons in the restaurant. Lee saw the commotion immediately, made sure to shut the blinds to the window they were sitting in front of, and suggested rearranging the seating so Cyndy would not be facing out into the dining area. Once everyone was in their places and drinks had been ordered, Ray began. "I feel like I've seen you both somewhere before." Chuckles. Maxine, they were a little concerned that I be here. No, Max, I'm glad you're here. Cyndy, Max? Yeah, don't you think she looks like a Max? I guess so, Larry chimed in. Oh, yeah. Max fits you much better than Maxine. Definitely a Max. Maxine, spoken like a true brother. Laughter. Ray, okay, here it is. And for an hour, he spoke to them about his plan, then weaved in their plan, so that it became one coherent plan. After an hour, he took a sip of Diet Coke, motioned Lee over to take the orders. My treat. I haven't had sushi since Marion, so I'm looking forward to this. After ordering, Ray had one more thought for them both. Cyndy, Larry, before you let me know what you think, I must tell you, no matter how you feel, that it's a special treat to be sitting here with 2 of the most courageous people I have ever met. To make the decision you did, to come out here and put yourself through what you both must do day after day is extraordinary. It is a true honor to be sitting here having dinner with you both. Cyndy, I think I can speak for Larry. We feel the same way about you. Max, smile, laugh, has told us so much about you, about your will and determination. We're happy and thrilled we've been able to flesh out each other's plan and have one coherent strategy moving forward. There is one rather large challenge involving the other departments. What's that? They don't have the top three floors anymore. They're spread all over the building. Plus, they've rented space to other companies, so you really have to know where you're going to attack the correct offices. Larry. Ray, I can get you a list and location of every office by Monday. Great. It's funny, one of our assaulted talked to me about an escape plan, specifically giving the example of hitting offices X, Y, and Z. If they're trying to do that, and they've done it, then they should try to take off. Now we'll get the info from you along with diagrams, figure out the offices we have to make sure to hit. Cyndy. The Institute for Legislative Action, NRA-ILA, and the Political Victory Fund, NRA-PVF, will try to get a DC address, if there is one for these two. You would think there would be. Ray, excellent. As the colonel used to say on the A-team, I love it when a plan comes together. Stares from the table. No, nobody saw the A-team? Mr. T? No? I feel so old. Chuckles from everyone. Ray and Maxine spoke after Cyndy and Larry left. That went well, Max. Smart kids. I feel kind of sad for them. Don't. I sat right here and tried to talk them out of this well before you were in the picture. They were determined to go through with their plan, even if it meant arrest or death. They're smart, all right. Smart and tough. They'll have to be. They'll be right there, literally front and center. You don't know it, but with their plan, they had no way of escaping. With your plan, they at least have a sliver of hope. Yeah, but they're recognizable as hell right now. The NRA literally has them as their fucking poster kids. Hell, I sure hope they can get out. I like them. They obviously are fond of you, too. Yeah, 3 crazies off to blow Jim Mitchell to hell. So, I got 2 more. One very recent and one close to home. Yeah, I could use some quasi-downtime. Who and where? Annapolis, Maryland. The newspaper, Annapolis 7.